your hungers, the Budget Gourmet. It is going to be a fantastic season where we take you through affordable cooking, things that you can find every day in your pantry, highlighting Bahamian ingredients, as well as, throwing a little fancy in there when we can. I'm going to be your host, Chef Mo, and we are going to be taking you on a journey where we feature different guests, different ingredients, and every single time we focus on ways to help you maximize your budget. I am so pleased to introduce our first guest. She's going to be a co-chef. She's my Jack. And of course, she is one of the most important people in food sustainability in this country, Executive Director Keisha Ellis for Hands for Hunger. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
So good to have you. Thank you for joining me in our kitchen.
Yes.
Because it's going to be our kitchen.
Honor to be here today.
And it's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
So as you know, I would have mentioned that we'll be featuring different ingredients.
Right.
We are going to get into a little bit about you telling us about Hands for Hunger, and more importantly, how that is going to tie into what we're doing here as we try to push through getting into how we make people feel different about everyday ingredients, right? So...
Perfect. I have a question though.
Uh-huh.
Are the dishes that we're going to make easy to make, or do you have to be a gourmet chef?
I am glad you asked me that.
That's very important information for me.
Because my title is Chef Mo,
yes.
But today we are cooking like we just in anybody's kitchen.
Okay.
All right. The idea is to make everybody feel as though they can be a chef in their own kitchen. All right. So we want to bring easy everyday ingredients with a little bit of a twist in maybe ways that you haven't thought about food before. All right.
I love it.
And by no coincidence, I happen to be dressed like the ingredient of the day. And our featured ingredient today is actually coconuts. We have coconut in many different forms. We're going to do a couple different dishes, which we'll get into in just a sec. But I do want to take a moment just to talk to you a little bit about Hands for Hunger and its importance to recognizing food sustainability and the way that we approach food as a country.
Of course. So Hands for Hunger, our entire purpose, right, our reason for being is to make sure that no one goes hungry and that no food gets wasted, right? So doing this here today and for this season, it really highlights both of those things,
Absolutely.
Right? Because a lot of the ingredients that I see here are ingredients that our clients can get at our pantry.
Which I love. That is very important.
So if there's someone who's in need of food and they walk into our pantry, they're going to see a lot of these items that we have here right now. So that makes me really happy to know that we are providing ingredients that can actually make a gourmet meal.
Absolutely.
And apparently it's going to be easy as well, so that's just a bonus.
You really harped on the easy part. Yeah, don't worry, I got you. We're not trying to hurt anybody today, okay? We want this to be fun, easy, and taste good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the other part of our mission is making sure that no food goes to waste, right? So even if you're not necessarily in a position where you're food insecure, you are absolutely in a position where you have that thing in the back of your cupboard that you're about to throw away because you don't know how to use it.
Or just been sitting there catching dust.
Exactly.
You're like, well, we'll just use this as a paperweight.
Right, because maybe you're tired of eating it the same old way that you've been eating it, for months, and hopefully we learn a new way to use some of these things so that we don't actually waste the food.
And I'm glad we're kind of talking about this idea of nothing going to waste, because that is what is so perfect about our ingredient, the coconut.
Yes.
The coconut is, from the rooter to the tutor, a useful ingredient, from the meat to the water to the fact that you can make oils from it. The husks you can use for firewood. It is top to bottom, hands down, from skin to internally, one of the superfoods actually of our country. It's completely accessible.
Yes.
We've had an uptick in social media, in foreign markets with coconut water. Coconuts we've had access to our entire lives, right?
Yes.
And so now you have small businesses popping up selling us the coconut water, and more you can get the jelly to make things like preserves. You can, of course, use the hard meat to grater, and then you can use the milk to cook things with, and you can even make the oils from that milk. A lot of people don't realize you make the oil from the coconut milk itself, and that you actually boil the milk down after you squeeze it out of the shredded coconut. You heat cook it, it separates, and then you just kind of use a cloth to let that oil absorb out.
So I always assumed there was like machinery involved in coconut oil.
Girl, you remember I was saying these things? Ain't no machinery.
That is true.
There's no machinery.
Yes.
This is all hands to earth.
I love it.
Cooking, and that is what's so amazing about this coconut.
Yes.
It is completely versatile. We have a couple different dishes today. We're actually going to start with a coconut rice dish. It's going to go with one of our entrees. We got to cook in real time, all right? You only got to put the rice on, and then that's steep while you do the other thing. So, so we're going to do the exact same thing here. And you, my good sous chef, are going to
Okay.
Gonna get into some
All
things,
right.
all right?
I
So
believe in me.
we're gonna make a coconut rice,
Okay.
which is gonna go with a coconut curry stir fry.
All right.
Stay with me. Don't leave. Stay right with me.
It sounds amazing to me.
Okay. We're gonna make a coconut salad, which is gonna be almost exactly like a conch salad, but using the coconut.
Okay. All right.
All right. And then we have a super easy dessert that uses 2 ingredients. I know. 2 ingredients.
Take your word for it.
That is gonna be quick, fast, and absolutely delicious.
Okay.
All right. So that's what is on our docket for today. So.
All right. So we're going to be here for about 3 hours then.
No, we're not going to be here for 3 hours. We don't have 3 hours. No. But we are going to try to get through this as much and as quickly as possible.
Right, because that's important as well, right? Being food insecure, you're probably short for time as
Absolutely.
well. You know?
Absolutely. And quite honestly, we're just all busy.
We are.
We are busy all
We
the
are.
time, and you don't want to be completely relying on fast food. I think we've kind of decided that we want to use what we have at our fingertips as much as possible and find different ways to put that into effect.
And that's
all right?
always my fear, that I just won't have enough time to cook a meal like this. I get nervous, so then I go back to the same old thing that I know I can knock up in, half an hour.
And I get that, and so this is hopefully going to help change your mind about how that looks. All right. So we're going to get started here on our rice. Now, you can use any kind of oil. You can use butter. You can use whatever you want. I like to focus on the fact that we have different options. Now, again, sometimes you end up with that thing where you're like, why have all this? I have to use all this. Like, my friend buys her coconut oil by the big tub.
Right.
From, when she goes away or when she orders it, she brings it in. And the tub has been sitting there for so long because she only uses it on like feet, elbows, things like that, the kids, whatever, sensitive skin, which is fantastic, but it's also really good to cook with. It imparts flavor and it's a healthy fat to add to your diet.
Right.
So,
okay.
You're killing like a couple birds with one
I'm guilty
stone.
like your friend.
Yeah.
I also have the big tub of coconut oil, but I use it externally.
Just for the skin and the hair and things like that. Which is fine. That's what we know it from. That's what Grandma used to use it for. That's why we had the coconut oil around the house. Right? So if you don't make your own, you can always buy it.
Okay.
But if you do want to make your own, trust me, there's lots of tutorials on just how you can get that done. So I use that just to go in so we can start kind of sauteing some of our herbs that are going to go into this rice.
Okay.
I'm actually going to have you pass me some of that red onion there. Now for me, red onion is one of those things where like, I just like it. Obviously, you can use any kind of onions that you have. White onions, yellow onions. We also have the green onions, the scallions, which are also going to go into this. But you use what you have. Sometimes that's what's available, and sometimes it's the thing that's there, right? So we're going to add some of this into here and let that start to come up as it heats. So we're just putting a little bit in. It's really more for flavor and a little bit of texture. All right, we have some crushed garlic here also as well. So this I just put into a food processor, but chop it up, mince it up, whatever's easiest for you. Right. We're just gonna put a little dollop of that in there as well. And again, everything for me when we come to doing this is building flavor as we go. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure that this kind of comes up. Hopefully our stove is up high enough here. Let's get that all the way up. So while we're doing this and while I'm kind of just putting things together, by the way, we had a debate about this earlier.
We did.
With soaked rice versus non-soaked rice. I judge none, and it depends on the type of rice that I'm making, honestly, whether I soak it or not. Right. Because we're cooking with coconut milk, which is already thick, I like to rinse the rice so you don't have that extra starch that builds up into the rice. Right. So this would have already been rinsed and kind of put aside just to chill out until we were ready. All right? So tell us a little bit about how Hands for Hunger got started, and tell us a little bit about the pantry and how a lot of these items come to be in the pantry. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to start knocking together this rice as we kind of go.
Absolutely, and I will watch diligently and make sure I learn something.
Yeah, and I'll just interrupt and let y'all know we'll do it as we go, so we can keep the party going. All right.
So Hands for Hunger started in 2008 with a really simple idea, and that idea was that, hey, sometimes restaurants have to throw away perfectly good food, right? While at the same time there are people who are hungry, right? So we honestly just set up a system to make it easy for restaurants to donate food.
And to cut down on the waste that you're always talking about.
Exactly.
So we're just putting our rice in here now. Of course, like I said, it's sort of already soaked. I'm going to put you to work and let you refill this bowl with some water for me.
Absolutely. So here's another thing about me. I only know how to do things one way, right? Okay. And as far as I know, you boil the water and
before
then
you eat the rice.
That's the only way I've ever cooked rice. I thought that was the only way to cook rice.
And that's fair. So what I like to do is I kind of like to coat the rice and everything that's happening there first. It also helps the rice to bloom because you're letting that heat get into it before the water. And it just allows you to kind of get some of the flavor into the actual grain itself, a little cooking hack. if you're ever considering something like that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're just gonna toss that around here. Now we do have our canned coconut milk. Now, of course, you can always find different versions of this product in the store. The pantry often also has it on its shelves.
Yeah.
So whichever version you find is going to be well done. I always say go with the most affordable one because I don't know if I need Indonesian coconut milk. Personally, no judgment. And so for this, we're just going to use about a third of a can here because we're also going to use some kidney beans that have coconut milk in them as well that have been soaked.
Can I put this right here until we're ready for it?
You can actually go ahead and pour that in now.
Okay. I just
All right. I'm going to tell you when to stop. So whenever you're cooking rice, you kind of want to make sure you have just about a half inch of water above the top of your rice.
All right.
So you can go ahead and start pouring that in. All right. Lovely,
I'm trusting you.
You're good. That should be good for now, okay? All right. So now we have in here, we have some garlic, we have some onion, we have our rice that we kind of soaked already. We have some coconut milk. We're going to go in with our beans. Now, this was another point of contention for you. Because
you love it, right? I started this off by saying I'm not lonely. I can barely cook. I have all these opinions.
I love that. Because, listen, I think it's important for people to realize there's no one way to do almost anything.
Right.
And as long as it comes out tasty, as long as it comes out cooked, not raw, I think that you've accomplished what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I know people who've been cooking their entire lives who one pot of rice is a hit or miss. I'm praying that this works today. If I'm going to be completely honest, you know what I mean? You just never know.
What are you talking about?
Right?
I'm right here.
I was just hinting at it, girl. I was just hinting at it. All right, so as you can see, well, child, this scam was really fighting us today. So we had to use the Grammy method with the knife. It worked for Grammy, it can work for us. Don't hurt your head about it.
Do you need a knife again?
No, I think we got it. There we are. We're open. All right, so I'm actually just going to go in with this whole thing of kidney beans, coconut milk, and all. Okay. And that was a part of the conversation that we were having as to whether or not you would actually use. I think you said you usually rinse yours off.
Always, not usually, every single time.
You're like, no, that's what I do.
Constantly.
That's what I do. All right. So we can let you dispose of that for me. Careful.
With pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have our rice in here with our onions, our coconut milk, our kidney beans. We just added some salt to it. I'm going to give it a taste just to make sure. Always taste as you go, people. Always, always, always. And don't forget, if you do know you have, people who have sensitivities to things like salt for hypertension, whatever else, cut back. Use more seasoning from the herbs and things like that and less of the salt. Like, it's an easy way to balance. But tell us a little bit about how the pantry part of Hands for Hunger got started.
So, you mentioned earlier that there's more than one way to do anything, right? And I actually agree with that. We agree with that at Hands for Hunger. So we thought about how do we get food to more people? Right. We're like, well, there's more than one way to do it, right? We didn't want to see people necessarily standing in long lines. We didn't want to see people getting like this generic box with perhaps food that they don't eat or can't eat and would, somewhere down the line end up wasting, right? So we opened up the pantry and we set it up to look like a food store. Like a corner store. So a lot of people walk into the pantry and they think it's just a shop. Okay. They think it's like a shop. Right. Because we have aisles with items on it, and we have freezers and refrigerators, and we have fresh produce in bins. So our clients can come in and they can choose the items that will best serve them. And
they get an actual shopping experience as opposed to you giving them a bag of, here, take this. They get to kind of decide.
I mean, it's about dignity for us and making sure that every member of our community knows that they are valuable and that they're an adult and can choose the items for their children. Right? Who knows what their children like? It's better than
kids can be very finicky.
Right.
So just another thing, I'm going to drop actually some grated coconut into this rice. Wow. So we're going top to bottom with the coconut. We got the coconut kidney beans. We use the coconut oil. We have coconut milk. Now we're using some shredded coconut in here to actually give it a little bit of like texture and to give some of that sweetness back into it as well. All right. And I'm just going to stir this, and I'm going to, now that it's at a simmer, I'm just going to, at a boil, I'm just going to turn this down. I'm not going to let it do what it needs to do. Okay. All right. So what is the process like of receiving items for this pantry, for example?
Right. So everything in the pantry is received through either private donations or items donated from either local business or from individuals. Okay. Right? So we have some donations of monetary value, right, which is super helpful because that way we use the monetary donations to keep the pantry stocked with the staple items that we need, right? If anyone walks in, we want to make sure that we have rice available, we have grits available, we have tuna, we have these important items, right?
The quote-unquote bread basket items, stretchable items that make you feed more people, right?
So we always know that we'll have those available, right?
Okay.
So when people are willing to donate to us, that's when we get the really fun stuff, right? So we have.
I've had that experience with you. Belgian white chocolate. I'm like, what? I can have some Belgian white chocolate.
What we tell people who want to donate to our pantry is, yes, of course, the staples are good, but why don't you donate your favorite item? Right? Is there a soup that you really like, or a cereal, something that we could never justify using donated funds to buy?
Yeah.
Right? And something that a lot of our clients may never get to experience.
Which I love.
When we have children donate, we're like, hey, what's your favorite snack? What's your favorite cereal? Donate a case of that to our pantry, which means that when you walk into our pantry, you see a lot of interesting items, right? We've introduced our pantry clients to quinoa and Belgian white chocolate.
A lot of these items which we will be using over the course of this season to help people find and navigate their way through some of these more unique and healthy items.
Exactly. And easy to prepare.
Right.
Because that's one of the biggest concerns a lot of our pantry clients have. They're like, I would love to try it, but I do not know
how to do this. Yeah. Okay, so we have our rice here simmering. We're going to set this and forget this for a little bit. Okay. I'm actually going to ask you to grab us that coconut out of the fridge there.
Yes, ma'am. With pleasure.
And then I am going to put you to work a little bit as we actually talk our way through making. I think 2 should be enough. Yeah, let's just start with that actually. Might not even need 2. So, in case you don't know, you can usually now, when you go to the vendors, they will have these bags of the coconut meat, the softer parts of the meat available, and they're like $5 for a bag, maybe. Sometimes, like when I went the other day, he gave me 3 of them for $10. He was like, Mama can't do it like that, you know. And I was like, thanks, babes. Because now I get that. Well,
Sorry about that.
We getting there, it's whatever. All right, but we're going to use this as a conch supplement. So the same way you think of a conch salad, and we've talked about conch and the sustainability of that and what our water's looking like with overfishing and things like that. So we really do have to start coming up with different ways to increase our protein intake and kind of keep other of our Bahamian recipes alive as well that we may have to use other supplements for, right?
Of course, allergies.
That
nothing else.
as well.
A lot of people who just cannot eat conch salad.
And I think people have just gotten very health conscious. A lot of people don't eat meat anymore, but they miss the conch salad thing. And you can do it with just the herbs, but like, boring. So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you just how to cut up one piece of this here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put you to work while I start doing some other ingredients. So again, depending on how you like your conch, right? Let's say you like it in the slithers or the slices, then you would cut this the same way. Because we have everything else kind of chunked up, I'm just going to try to mirror everything else, and it's going to be more like, when they just cube up a conch salad at the fry or whatever. You can usually have these little pieces of coconut husks to the side there, just kind of disregard them. And then we're just going to put a chop on this and kind of dice it up. You don't want the pieces to be too small because you want to really taste that flavor. You want to get the texture, and if you haven't noticed, the texture of the coconut is very similar to the texture of the conch, right? So when you look at it, it kind of looks the same. This bag I'm really excited about. You can see it's this beautiful white, fresh color. Sometimes they can be a little on the browner side, which is still fine. They're still delicious, but I like when you can have this nice, vibrant white color to it, all right? So I'm going to let you continue to cut up the rest of this bag here, or this bag, either bag.
All right, I'll choose.
Your way. Yeah,
give me some autonomy, Mo.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I apologize. you deserve to choose. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, so we have our rice here simmering. We're cutting up those ingredients here. So our other ingredients that we prepped just a little bit ahead are the same things that we would put into a conch salad, right? So we have some tomato, firm for me. I do not like a soft one. Do you like tomato in your conch salad?
I like scotch-cup.
So do I. Fair, so do I. But for all intents and purposes, as we make this nice and colorful,
of course,
we're going to
make sure we hit as many vitamin groups as possible.
You see where we're going, all right? So we have some diced up tomato here. We have some diced up red onion, and of course, you can use white onion. You can use scallions. You can use none. It's really going to be up to how you're liking. We also have some bell pepper. I use green and yellow again, just to contrast with some of the colors to make it really pop. But you can just use green. If you want to use red, that's fine as well, all right? And then, of course, we we have our limes here to give that punch and that acidity. And if you're one of those people who likes to put orange juice in it, splash that in there too. Nobody's gonna judge you. Now, I've never tried this with mayo, but I am a Conch salad and mayo girly. I wasn't ready to do that here today. So we're just gonna do the standard thing. We're just gonna, keep it traditional, and we're gonna rock this out as this is here, okay?
Right.
So we have our lovely mixing bowl here. Make sure we are definitely on cool stovetop still. Alright, as our rice bubbles away. So tell me, what is your favorite way to eat coconut, or ingest coconut for that matter?
Well, I would say my Grammy coconut tart is the official answer.
I don't think that can be a wrong answer, honestly.
That's the official answer.
Realistically, that's probably correct,
But you know what? I am a fan of the coconut curry.
I am too. Huge fan of the coconut curry, actually. Okay.
Right, not to brag, right?
Uh-huh.
But my husband is a great chef, which is why I get to be terrible.
I get it.
And so his specialty is
necessity is key.
Curry, but with loads of coconut milk in it. It really just hits it completely different.
Which tends to be more reminiscent of like the Asian curries. I know our curries generally are just the dry curries and the yellow curry. But that infusion of coconut milk, so you're gonna enjoy this.
I know, I'm excited.
Stir fry.
You're doing a version that I can do.
Yes, indeed. As you can see, very easy ingredients here. And actually the same ingredients that we're using in this coconut salad are gonna be the same focus and primary ingredients that are gonna go into our stir fry. So again, when you have that pepper in the fridge to getting soft and a little half onion, right? We just do with that. And of course, we have some plantain we're gonna add to it just to give it a little bit of oomph. Right. If you will. And then, of course, we're going to make the gravy.
Wait, sorry. I wasn't listening. Did you say plantain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some plantain there. Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to add some sweetness. It's going to add some starch. It's going to give it some body. That's going to also help to stretch the nature of the meal. Now, you could leave it just like that with the coconut. We're actually going to add some tuna in there. You can also use the salmon, canned salmon. You can use fresh salmon. You can use fresh tuna. Whatever your budget allows, you can use. But we always know, we always have certain things in the pantry that we're thinking, how can I do this differently? Right. How can I make this flavorful? And how can I bring certain elements into this dish? So we're going to add some tuna to our coconut, and that's going to be the base of our stir fry, right?
Cool. Would a bean of any sort work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, so when I was debating today with this rice dish, I was actually going to put some beans into the stir fry. But I said, you know what? Since we're doing the coconut milk, we can do a coconut bean in this rice and then still tie that in as a double element with this. But you could absolutely add into that stir fry any type of bean that you would like.
So it's super easy to make all of these dishes vegan friendly, vegetarian friendly.
Absolutely. And again, people don't realize, so more and more we're realizing that we have a lot of dairy sensitivity. People are having a lot of sinus issues and things like that, and they're not recognizing that that's from the lactose in cow's milk. Yeah. So coconut milk is a great substitute for your cereals, your oatmeal, your coffee, your smoothies in the morning. That's an excellent an option, and particularly the coconut water. Coconut water has so many electrolytes. It's nature's Gatorade, if you will, right? It is 10 times more hydrating than water. It's also more delicious. I know that's up for grabs. I'm not getting into that with a lot of you. I know a lot of people think it has an acquired taste.
Who thinks that? I don't know.
I'll tell you off air what they've told me that they think it tastes like, but I think it's fantastic, and they clearly don't know the health benefits to it. So when we look at the electrolytes, when we look at the vitamin that it adds to the diet, just in the water alone, you're doing something that you can't find anywhere else in nature. That is nature's gift of hydration, okay? All right, so in this bowl now, we're going to have you add your, look at you.
Are you proud of me?
I am.
Yay.
That actually went a lot better than, okay. All right, so we're going to add that in, and then we're going to just kind of like fold it all together. All right.
There you go, that should do it.
Yeah, just to make sure we get it all in here. And then we're going to toss this. We're going to add some salt. Okay. I'm actually going to have you squeeze some limes in here for me. All right. And of course, we also have a little bit of goat pepper. You can't do a conch salad without a little spice. I'm going to look at all of you, just in case. All right. So we're gonna add a little bit of salt here, and again, as little or as much as you feel the need to. You can also add none if you want to just keep this completely fresh, completely low sodium.
Can I squeeze?
Absolutely, please do. And as you do, I'm just gonna kind of toss this.
You wrote these, right?
You know I did.
Of course.
But I'll give you another hack for when you're choosing limes. When you are picking limes, you always want to feel for limes that are as smooth as possible. When they're heavily dimpled, they tend to be very cocky. So you want it to be as smooth as possible on the outside. When you find those limes that are like completely smooth, grab them all. Trust me, they are the ones that you want, all right? And of course, I find that the ones that grow here on like your ground tree, they still just have the best, you know, like the native limes and things like that. But you know, here we go. So how are you as far as spice? Are you a very spicy girly? Or are you a, you know, medium spice?
It is embarrassing how little spice I can tolerate.
Say less.
And you made me say it on television.
That's it. We didn't even know it's there.
Now everyone
But for the culture, you know, we had to put it in. You can't not do it.
Of course.
All right. So I don't know if you guys can see how this is coming together, but if you just saw this, you couldn't tell me this was a Conch salad.
You know what? As I was chopping it, I forgot it was coconut.
I'm telling you, like when you just looking at it, you're kind of like, this is clearly Conch salad. Why would it be anything else that looks like this? And this is something that I love to do for like a little appetizer, if I'm hosting things sometimes. And you have like a mixed crowd, you don't know who's coming. And how cheap is it? It's delicious. It's coconut and some vegetables. Put it on a piece of toast. It's coconut bruschetta. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, we're gonna do some things. All right, we're gonna show you how to take things to the next level around these parts. All right, so we're just gonna make sure that's nice and tossed here. I'm gonna see if this needs a little bit more lime juice.
I feel like it needs more lime.
I feel like it does too, just because I don't want to see it.
One lime isn't enough.
No, we can get a little bit more lime in there. Meantime, let's see if we have enough salt going. All right, let's put a little bit in here for a little bit of a taste. And get some of that conch on there too. I'm saying conch. See? I tricked myself. It's coconut. All right. Well,
yeah? Does it need more lime?
Actually, put the lime in.
Right, because I already got it there. So let's use it.
Also, that must be the strongest gold pepper in the history of gold peppers.
See, I can't even taste it.
You can.
I will.
You will.
I will.
We made this together.
Yes, and we in this together. I'm not the only person who's been sitting at the door crying into my tissue.
Nah, don't worry.
Because I was too ashamed to tell the man to do the seal the pepper.
We'll on the break we'll figure all that out. All right. So okay, I'm gonna get us some bowls so we can taste these.
Yay! That's what I came for.
And then we are going to get into some coconut husk in there. I'll take that one. I'm not opposed to it. I think there's some forks in that drawer right there where you are too.
Oh, no, I've already set them up for us.
Oh, you did? Ah, you did. I know a bowl because a spoon, I have a spoon behind me. Yeah, use a spoon for this. I won't take up too much for you because, you know, we got to feed the people who here with us too, you know? Make sure they can taste it. But go ahead, dig in.
Yeah?
Okay. I've already had my bite. I already know this is doing what I needed to do. So here we are.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
I mean, it's so good. Like, the main excitement isn't even for the fact that it's not conch, it's coconut. It's just good. Right? It's just a really nice salad.
And the coconut is sweet, but it's still, because of the lime, has that reminiscent flavor of what conch does.
It does, and you know what?
And it's bright, and it's easy.
It still tastes like coconut too, though, which is not a bad thing.
Exactly.
The coconut tastes really good in this.
Yeah. So we're going to finish our coconut salads. We're going to keep an eye on this rice. When we come back, we are going to get into our coconut curry stir fry. And we're going to get that 2-ingredient dessert started. Stick around. We will be right back with Hands for Hungers, the Budget Gourmet.